Thanks for joining us on this short demo on how to cut cart abandonment with Okta, TechJutsu, and Typing DNA. Let's talk about numbers. What does this really mean to our bottom line? In a 2021 blog post, TrueList cited that 74% of online shopping carts are abandoned each year. That is a lot of money left on the table. And then looking at the cart abandonment causes. The problem of cart abandonment is caused by the friction of password, the frustration of password resets, all of this leading to abandoned orders and lost revenue. Let's see what it might look like if we were to save all that money left on the table by cutting cart abandonment. Here's an example. Say we have 100,000 carts per month with a 74% cart abandonment rate and a $20 abandoned cart value, something you might see at your typical pizza place. The potential recovered revenue in a month is $1,480,000. The potential recovered revenue in a year is $17,760,000 in a year. That is a lot of potential recovered revenue. But obviously this is just an example. So we'd like you to calculate your own potential revenue recovery using the revenue recovery calculator on our website, techjutsu.ca/revenue-recovery-calc. So what's the solution? The solution is to go passwordless, or as Okta calls it, FastPass. This way we eliminate passwords, we get rid of password resets, and we securely verify with typing biometrics such as Typing DNA. The beautiful part is that no tokens or special devices are required. Now I'll pass it over to Kevin to do the demo, the fun part.
Thanks, Tracy. For this demo, we've built a sample web application that can be logged into using passwordless, tokenless biometrics that only use a customer's typing pattern to securely authenticate them into the application. It is worth noting that additional factors can be added if multi-factor authentication is required. When the customer goes to log in, they're first asked to enter their email address. Since we have previously registered this account, we are simply prompted to enter the authentication phrase. No passwords are required. The customer types in the phrase, and with the power of Typing DNA, we can confidently authenticate them. Upon successful validation, the customer is allowed into the system and can complete their order. That's how quick and easy it can be to reduce end user friction while providing secure biometric authentication. Now that we've seen what a successful authentication looks like, let's take a look at what happens when a bad actor tries to authenticate. First, the bad actor will type in an email address. Next, they're challenged for the same authentication phrase. However, since every person's typing pattern is unique, when the bad guy types in the phrase, Typing DNA is able to detect that this is not the same person that registered with this email address. In this case, the typing pattern doesn't match and the login request is ultimately rejected. Finally, we can show how simple the customer registration process is. When we register a new customer, we simply click on Sign Up. Next, we provide some basic information, such as our first name, last name, and email address. And finally, we confirm that we own this email address by entering the code in the email or simply clicking on the validation link in the email. Once our email is validated, we're prompted to register our typing pattern. We do this by entering the same phrase 3 times. This ensures that Typing DNA has sufficient data to identify our typing pattern and safely authenticate us on subsequent login attempts. The phrase itself can be configured to be relevant to your customers as well. Finally, we click on Register and we're ready to order. Simple and easy. This diagram is an architecture diagram that describes the various systems and workflows that are involved. As you can see here, Okta is central to this architecture, providing both customer registration services as well as minting of both the ID and access tokens and the customer profile store. Okta then delegates the registration and authentication of the typing patterns to TechJutsu's middleware, which leverages the power of Typing DNA. And with that, I'm going to pass it back to Tracy.
Thanks, Kevin. Anyone remember this password fail in the news? When a 4-year-old boy accidentally ordered over $2,000 worth of square bud popsicles on Amazon. Bet his mom was not very happy with him. And his mom was also left broke. But imagine if Amazon had a way of verifying the buyer is not only the correct account, but the correct person. And that's what we can do with typing biometrics in Okta. The typing biometrics provides that layer of protection for e-commerce customers to protect us from those little fingers that are not only in our homes, but also verifying the account is also human typing, saving you from the dangers of saved credentials. Go frictionless with passwordless. Are there any questions? Looks like we have a question from Russ who says the typing pattern is interesting, but can it take into account desktop, mobile device keyboard differences? Kevin, do you want to take that?
Sure. Sorry, make sure I was unmuted there. Yeah, it definitely can. There are separate registrations that are done for both the desktop experience as well as the mobile experience, and the typing DNA APIs support both those as well. So we can certainly provide those services.
And Russ is also asking that autofill for typing pattern will not work. So yes, that's correct. The autofill would not.
That is correct. So typically the recommendation is to disable autofill on the fields that are being used for the typing pattern recognition.
Any other questions? If not, please feel free to reach out to us at techjutsu.ca and book a meeting. Thanks, everyone.
Looks like one more question came in. Oh, two. Whoa.
Oh. So John asked, how configurable are the sign-up pages?
So the sign-up pages themselves are configurable through the sign-in policies within Okta. So depending on which parameters or attributes that you need to collect during sign-up, you're able to configure those to whatever suits your needs.
And Steve is asking what the recovery options are for users that forget their passphrase.
So in addition to being signed in through, so the passphrase itself is going to be a static phrase that everybody would see and be displayed to them. So they don't need to remember the phrase. So they would just type that in. So that would reduce any chance of somebody needing to forget something. When they go to log in, they will see the phrase they need to type that phrase, and they'll be able to log in. Now, if their login is rejected because maybe they injured a finger or their typing pattern has changed slightly, there are backup options that are available, and this could be any authentication option available within Okta. So in the example we had set up here, they would still be able to optionally log in with the email OTP, but could also support other factors as well.
And Steve is asking if this is available for both Okta Identity Engine and Classic.
Yes, this is possible for both Okta Identity Engine as well as Okta Classic.
And for those who aren't as familiar, Okta Identity Engine is the newer version of Okta. Tim, do you have any final words you want to add for us?
Well, this is really great to see. It's exciting being able to look at how we are I think the SpongeBob example was brilliant. That is, what we're looking at right now is there's so many ways that we can bumble our way into a whole bunch of popsicles we didn't expect. And this is an excellent way to really make sure that we're also being able to make these the abandoned carts be able to move out. And John, second question, big winner.
So John's asking if we have any clients live with this new feature set. So we don't have any live, but we have several POCs out there for some large clients, including a large coffee chain that many people will be familiar with. Any other questions?
And I think one good thing to even note inside of there is that the great part of this is that as the world is looking towards authentication with all the things that are coming across our, our news wires and so forth, the world's becoming so much more understanding in authentication. So being able to bring real world, outside of just authenticating somebody logging in, being able to bring business cases like this. We've been on a couple of calls together, Okta team and TechJutsu team, where we brought this business case, and as it resonates on the business side of the company and on the cybersecurity side, it becomes really strong because now lots of people like it. Even operations chimes in with a little bit of cybersecurity insurance, increase. So it's really just has so many aspects to it, but really when you can show that it also affects the bottom line, boy, you've got a lot of people that want to talk to you about it. So just kudos here in all of this.
And just to build on Tim's point about cybersecurity insurance. So a lot of cybersecurity insurance companies are now requiring that their customers use second factor to even get cyber insurance. So using, typing biometrics with another factor of authentication from Okta is something we recommend strongly. And it's also possible with Okta to do a step-up authentication. So maybe, with a $20 cart, you just use the one typing DNA factor of authentication, but with a $50 cart, you also use a push notification or a TOTP SMS message.
And you can also, even for the point of of our little guy buying $2,600 of popsicles, if you have a purchase that goes outside the parameters of the norm, it can then ask for an authentication. Like one time I went to go in and put $2 for a tip on a takeout order, and I put in $200, and the app said, "Hey, do you really want to put $200 for a tip?" I was like, "No, I meant $2." But in the same sense of going, "Hey, I'm going to buy $2,600 in SpongeBob popsicles," that's when you can get a re-authentication to go. Because the 8-year-old's going to go, "Sure, I want all those popsicles," but mom's going to go, "Nuts. I'm not entering that in there." And it makes it also so that if that 8-year-old too was smart enough to go, "Sure, authenticate," and the 8-year-old's holding the phone, and up pops the number, that now you're able to bypass that. This gives you the opportunity to increase that security to know somebody's making that movement. And we see a lot of banks using that also. So it makes it much less friction, but also mom approved, so that's really kind of good.
All right. Any final comments, questions, concerns, compliments? Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll have a replay on our website, and feel free to reach out to us with any questions. Thanks, Max. Cheers.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.